Hello everyone, welcome to Pronounce It with Eleutéria. In today's lesson, we are going to discuss a very interesting issue and easy as well about English pronunciation, the consonant sounds. The consonant sounds, we are going to define what are the consonant sounds and also how do we classify them according to the manner of production, which means that the way we articulate these sounds is going to dictate to which category each one of them belongs to. Well, let's start our lesson with a curiosity that I'm sure that you didn't know or aren't aware of. Did you know that we have 24 consonant sounds in English? Yes, there are 24. Although we know from the ordinary alphabet that we find 26 letters and we have vowels and consonants mixed there. But when it comes to pronunciation, which is a way different thing, we find 24 consonant sounds. To check this, you can go and browse to look for the International Phonetic Alphabet. You will see and get more acquainted with the English sounds. Now, let's start by defining what is a consonant. To define what is a consonant, let's go back to two of our lessons. First, the one of speech production. In the lesson of speech production, we've said that the air comes from the lungs, goes through the pharynx, it is shaped and modified, and then it comes through the vocal tract and it reaches our mouth, and as a result, we produce speech. Are you aware of this lesson? If not, please go back and watch the lesson on speech production, which is available in this channel. And also, let's move to the other lesson about vowel sounds. What is important that we've said about the vowel sounds. We've said that the vowel sounds are the ones that we articulate without any obstruction to the airflow, which means that that process of producing speech, it occurs without any obstruction when it comes to vowels. But today, in this lesson, we are going to see that when we articulate the consonant sounds, we create an obstruction to the airflow. So when it comes to consonants, we create an obstruction, which is different from the vowel sounds that there are no obstruction at all to the airflow. Well, let's now see how do we classify the consonant sounds according to the manner of production. Well, the first thing that we find when we classify them is the affricate consonants. So what's so special about affricate consonants? They are a combination of plosive and fricative. Why a combination of plosive and fricative? Plosive because they begin with a blocking of the airstream in our mouth. We block the air, but then we release it, creating a narrow opening in our mouth, and then releasing the airflow, which is going to cause a friction effect. So this friction effect is going to create a typical sound that we call fricative. Fricative, friction. Can you link them? So this is the link between the word friction and fricative. Well, the sound begins as a plosive, blocking the airflow in the mouth, but then we open it, but only creating a narrow opening and releasing the airflow, remember, creating a friction effect. So we find these consonant sounds, ch and j, ch and j. When you articulate the word cherry, you see there's a narrow opening and there is a friction, and also we find here the j as in vegetables. You see, we block the air but then we release it, narrow opening, friction, affricate consonants. Moving on, we find the fricatives. Fricatives, as we have mentioned previously, the fricatives, we block the airflow, we create a narrow opening in our mouth, but then we release the air, creating a friction effect. Even the word friction, it's got that friction effect in itself. So, we can find there two fricative consonants that you are going to find out yourselves when we start articulating these fricative consonants. The first one that we find in our list here is f. You see, you never have your mouth wide open when it comes to this consonant. It is narrowly open. We create a narrow opening so that we articulate them the way they're supposed to. F, v. Remember to check your mouth, the opening that you're going to perform while articulating them. I recommend you to practice this lesson stepping in the front of a mirror so that you will notice what is so special, what makes a sound fricative. So step in front of the mirror and start articulate them. Let's go. F, v, th, the, s, z, sh, j, finger, vellum, thing, the, snake, zebra, shore, and ja, television, occasion. So these are the fricative consonants. Moving on, we find the plosives, which we briefly described here in the affricate section. Moving on, we find the plosives or stops, which we briefly describe here while studying the affricates. Well, plosives are the sounds that we articulate by blocking the airstream in our mouth. We block with our mouth, but then we release it abruptly. Let's try pronouncing potato. Potato. You see, first we block the air in our mouth, we close it, but then we open and release the airflow abruptly to produce consonants as pa and ta in the case of potato. So pa is the first that we find in our list here. Pa, potato. Ba, bed. Da, dream. Ta, time. K, car. G, girl. So these are the plosives. Remember, plosives block the airstream, but then release it abruptly. So that's what makes a sound plosive. And then we find the nasal consonants. These are called nasals because of nose. What happens is that when we articulate, each one of these, we don't allow the airflow to go to our noses. But when it comes to nasals, we allow that airstream to go through our noses. So let's try pronounce ma. Ma, you see, there's something different. There's something that makes them special, is that the air, it comes through our nose. Thing that doesn't happen when we articulate, for example, sa. You see? Ma, mom, mother, monkey. Na, nothing. Thing, thing. So these are the nasal sounds. Moving on, we find the lateral. Here, we are going also to recall once again, that's a lesson of speech production. So in that lesson of speech production, there's something that I would like to remind you, which are the articulators, the tongue, and the hard palate. If you've seen from the lesson, you will remember what I'm talking about. The hard palate, that we also call it as the roof of the mouth, and the tongue. So we've seen that in that lesson, the parts of the tongue. So for these sounds, we raise the tip of our tongue. It goes against the hard palate or the roof of the mouth. It goes against it. And what happens is that it allows the airflow to go either from one side or both sides of the tongue. So the air can go from one side or both sides of the tongue. So that is what we call a lateral sound. And in English, the lateral consonant is the last sound of love, or even lateral. So this is the lateral consonant. And finally, we find the approximant. Why we call them as approximants? Because we we cause the articulators, bring them close to each other. But in this case, we don't create a friction effect that we create in the fricatives or affricates. Here, we bring them close to each other, but without friction. So that's what we call approximant. So the consonants that we find, or that we call approximants in English, are ya, as in yellow or yes, wa, of war or world, and ra, as rapid or roar. So these are the approximant consonants. Bring articulators close to each other without any friction. So having learned all of these things that we've learned here, along with the previous lessons, I guess you are now ready to the next step, which is my favorite part of learning phonetics, which is the phonetic transcription. So stay tuned to this channel to see about phonetic transcription. Don't forget to subscribe. Recommend this channel and these videos to your friends and everyone you may know that may need this information. Don't forget to like the video and tell me where do you watch me from. So thank you guys for watching me. See you on the next video. Take care.